let's get to the reaction that everyone's talking about, and that is Kees Van Wonderen. So after the game, they do the natural press conferences and stuff like that. But what he said after the press conference has got everybody scratching their heads now, and it's disappointing as Kees Van Wonderen criticizes club management. Wait, what? So he had some comments after the game, and this is from Robin Haak from Vaz and Eric Asmussen. I want to give them credit. With some of the comments he made in the game, or after the game, I should say. He goes, I have to enjoy the games that are still to come. But for me, all the signs are there that I won't be there after the season. Because when you're on the same path, you communicate more and better. So he's criticizing the commentary or the lack of commentary communication by the Schalke brass. He goes, but only if we were on the same page, not everything has to be perfect. But you have to stick to the path, not to go left after a few games and right again. That's not possible. That it's better for someone else to do it. Hefty words there. And then he says, someone asked him, are you talking about Matthias Tillman? And he's like, look, looking back at the Regensburg game, normally Tillman would come and stand next to me and say, hey, that happens sometimes. We're moving forward because our path is clear. Instead, I heard nothing from him. He goes, and behind the scenes, people are saying and they're hinting that there are doubts. And when I find that, it's disappointing. It's not good. It's a shame. Essentially, he's like, look, I want to be here with all my love and hard work. I can also handle criticism, but if you have doubts, you might as well hire someone else. And he goes, if not, it's not good for anyone, but it's certainly not for the club. And so essentially he's saying, I am done after the end of the season. And first of all, when you hear those, he made those comments, that shocked me that he would say that after a draw. If he said that after Regensburg, I would have maybe understood it more. But he said that right after a euphoric moment, like drawing 2-2 against Hammer, considering the situations. What were your thoughts when you first heard about this happening from Van Wonderen?
This is like the second or third time in the last like 6 weeks maybe where I feel like he's just been kind of like crashing out in the media for no reason.
Yeah, you brought it up a couple weeks ago too.
Like completely unprovoked. Yes. But like I felt like Gerards was much more the focus and the center of attention as it pertained to the club's like peaks and valleys and form than Van Wonderen has. He's been a little bit more like low key, and there hasn't been that much like I've noticed, like I don't think I've noticed that much like focused derision about him, and he seems insistent upon like creating controversy for himself.
Yeah.
And like causing issues. And if you would just shut up and like get results, like you might stick around and you might be fine. And yeah, but anyway, but like the content of what he said. I mean, look, if he feels unsupported when things are going poorly, okay. That's, I guess, something fair you could say. If you get whipped by Jans Regenberg, I don't think you deserve to get support. Like, I mean, you shouldn't feel bad about that. Like, I mean, look, if I was Tillman in that situation and they lost to Jans Regenberg, like, I would probably be silent and let you kind of feel that one too for a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's normal. I think he needs a little bit of a thicker skin. And then secondarily, like, he's shooting himself in the foot. Like he keeps talking about like, oh, I really want to be here. If you want to be here, you wouldn't talk about like, well, I guess I'm not going to be here anymore. And like, I don't feel support. Like, I don't really believe that he wants to be here. I think he's like trying to maybe create some sort of narrative where like he can step away without the club feeling like he's abandoning it or something like that, which like I don't think anyone would. He's only been here for half a season anyway, so it's not like he's some sort of like long tenured person that we're afraid to lose. I don't know. It's a weird. It's a really. I can't get a read on this guy at all.
I know.
What are your thoughts? I'm gonna stop talking now. But like, yeah, just really strange.
It is super strange. And I was thinking about something when you were talking. Like last game, I said at the Jan Regensburg game. This is from the Friday stream. I said like, look, maybe he's feeling the pressure with this whole Baumann thing, and Baumann has not really revealed anything too much about what his plans are. Like he hasn't really given us a mission statement yet, and maybe Baumann hasn't really showed him that, hey, I'm with you for next season. You're my guy for next season. Maybe that's in the back of his head. That kind of resulted in the Regensburg game, where the horrible game after that. And I just felt like, look, this is the terrible time to kind of blow up because you got a new boss in there who has no connection with you. And so he can be like, I'm done with you. And then you go and give him more ammo, more fuel for the fire by saying this after a game where you just had a pretty decent result considering the situation. And I'm with you. I don't understand, like, it's not like Gerards, like you mentioned. Gerards it seemed like he was always provoked from the beginning. As soon as Manga got in here, he was constantly provoked and constantly had to defend himself, which took away from the team, which was, I guess, in a way nice. But like, it seems like he was trying to like, maybe he's watching old like Gerards clips, highlights from their press conferences, and he's trying to like add to that or bring it to himself, live vicariously through Gerards. But like, it was like you said, it's unnecessary what he was saying. Like, why this answer the questions you were asked, and a couple of times they asked him about certain things, but like not like this, and he's like bringing up information that unnecessary.
You feel like they're like, how pleased are you with, the mentality of your players today? And he's like,
Tillman sucks.
Yeah, I just really don't think they want me to be here. And it's like what are you talking about? Like I don't know. It's just so odd. Yes, the fact that this was the talking point and one of the main talking points coming out of this weekend was just bewildering. But maybe he's trying to confuse our opponents into I don't know. Maybe that's part of his strategy.
You know who else he's confusing? He's confusing the club because the club heard about this via WhatsApp, and then they obviously had to have a statement because like, hey, your coach has said that he's not going to be there the rest of the season, or at the end of the season he's leaving. So the club came out and said, okay, we got to make comments now on this. So club statement following Van Wonderen says the club management discussed the comments made by Van Wonderen on Saturday in an internal meeting held on Easter Sunday. I'm sure that's how they wanted to have their Easter. Frank Baumann, who will be assumed the role of the board member starting June 1st, was involved. Of course he would. As part of these discussions, there was, of course, direct communication with the head coach.
I love that line, too, because that's what he was criticizing, was that he wasn't included in the discussions. And, like, right at the end of the paragraph, they're like, of course, he was included in the discussions, which is just like...
So the specific details of the talks will remain confidential. It says, as a matter of principle, we expect all concerns of critical points to be addressed internally. That's where discussion needs to be clear and honest. So we must engage in open, constructive dialogue with one another. There you go. But such matters do not belong in the public domain. Really a nothing burger, as someone mentioned on the Discord. But they had to say something. They had to make the emphasis of points, like you just said, like, yeah, we're talking with the head coach. We're having open communication and dialogue, which is what he was criticizing about. It's just all... I don't know if he's going to last the whole season now. I can see it both ways. I can see where they're saying, look, as long as he doesn't have any more blow-ups between now and the end of the year, the team's doing okay, we'll let him be and then let him go at the end of the season. Or if they feel like this is going to affect the team, they're going to be like, you're out of here, put in Hoogland or somebody else. But I don't know, man.
Dude, but it's also so, like, stupid on his part. Like, when he's like, yeah, I just don't really feel like they really want to commit to me. What have you done to get anybody to commit to you? Like, I'm not saying that maybe you're not a great guy behind the scenes and you've somehow created a great atmosphere, whatever else. And like, yeah, the results aren't amazing, but they're not terrible. And, we know that the situation with the club is bad, yada, yada, yada. But like, dude, like the easiest way to resolve all of this is just win some games. And he's acting like it's so outrageous that they haven't, firmed up my future here yet. Like, dude, you're still in the middle of like your first 6 months, but you haven't really done much of anything. Like, calm down. Like, this is not some sort of like mistreatment on like notable I don't know.
He's acting like he just won 7 games in a row, and the club's waffling about his future. It's like, no, you've won. You're 500. Your club has been 500 since you've been here. And
he's acting like Max Meyer being upset they're doing contract negotiations with Leon Goretzka instead of him.
I'm surprised he didn't throw out like Max Allegri and some of these other world-class managers. Like, I'm on par with these guys. Like, what are you guys talking about?
I could walk into the coach's box at any team in Europe.
Yeah, exactly. I could start a Liverpool and then Man City and everywhere else. But I don't know, man. So all this is going on. We'll see what's going to happen here. Obviously, we know that like guys like Marcus Anfang are on the list of Baumann for next season. If they weren't looking for a manager next year, they certainly are now, because they're guaranteed 0% chance he's going to stay after the summer. The question is now, is he leaving immediately or at the end of the season? We'll find out soon enough what happens with that. Yeah, just a bizarre amount of circumstance that happened after the game, which we should be talking about the game. We're mostly talking about Van Wonderen and the club now, which is unreal.